Hi, I'm Lowell Shepard of Pacific Solo, and I've just completed my first Kickstarter campaign. I learned some things, 3 things in particular. So join me. There's even a surprise at the end. Something that's contrary to what Kickstarter told me would happen. Something even better happened. Hey, I'm Lowell. This is Pacific Solo. I have to prepare myself for the greatest challenge of my life, crossing the North Pacific via what I'm calling Nemo North, the place in the North Pacific furthest away from land in any direction, and to take you there with me via this channel. So I just finished my first Kickstarter campaign, and I learned 3 things, and as is my practice with my captain's log, the word captain is a bit pretentious, although I'm a licensed one, I feel like I'm learning so much. So my log is really a log of my learning, and I'm recording things in this logbook here, brought to me by a couple of supporters, Gary and Dagmar in Thailand, who are also sailors. So I want to share with you 3 things I've learned from my first Kickstarter campaign, 3 tips I offer you as you go into yours. And if this is all you have time to watch for, then just look at here. 3 things I've learned about the proposal, about promotion, and about the performance or the results. I was trying to stay with 3 Ps. And in summary, for the proposal, read the guidelines carefully. I'll elaborate that in a moment. For the promotion, remember, relationships matter. I'm going to elaborate and give you some data on that in a moment. And thirdly, for the performance, there was a surprise, and it was a pleasant surprise, which was contrary to what Kickstarter advised me would be the most popular tier. It was slightly different to what they said. So here we go. So, the proposal. Read the proposal carefully. I obviously hadn't. I thought I had, but I was guided by some other advice from people. And particularly, first of all, you need to know is choose your category. My category was filmmaking and a web series. I was told that they would be more interested in something practical and tangible and material. That turned out to be wrong. They're interested, when it comes to a web series, particularly about the creative. So they flat out rejected my first proposal. But reading between the lines, having felt initially deflated and discouraged, I realized they were giving me some clues. So I didn't accept their rejection as an outright rejection. They opened up the door for me to appeal. And so I rewrote in the direction of the creative. It was still much the same proposal. It still involved equipment I needed to sail solo and film solo. But now the emphasis was on the web series. So that's the first thing, was on the first proposal, the focus on the creative. Now, there's other Kickstarter campaigns that have to do with products, and I think that's a little different. You focus on the product itself. Those become the rewards. They go 1,000 times over what their goal is. But when you're on the creative side, focus on the creative. The second thing about the proposal is they then, the second time, also rejected me. But this time they rejected me on the basis I had elements within my rewards that did not meet their criteria. Particularly, I was giving away money vouchers. And they said that's a no-no. You see, although I'm giving credits in the web series and experiences on the boat, I was also giving away products from my online store, mugs, t-shirts, etc. And initially I thought this would be a cool idea, rather than me choose a mug for this tier of supporter or backer, to give them a voucher and let them buy what they wanted. No, or in Japanese we say dame. We could not do that. So I just had to rewrite the rewards, where instead of offering a voucher, I offered the mug or the t-shirt. Then they rejected me for the 3rd time. This time they were very clear. They thanked me for making the adjustments, but then they said, no alcohol is allowed in their prizes. Oh, because one of my prizes was a champagne and canapes cruise with my boat in Tokyo Bay. It's actually a prize I'd given away to charity 4 times, earning thousands of dollars each time. So I thought this would be a great reward for a higher level backer. But alcohol is not allowed to be part of a prize. So I just went in and I deleted the word champagne and kept everything else was the same, and they accepted. But this took about 3 to 4 weeks. It should have only taken a couple of weeks. So read the guidelines carefully. That was the first thing I learned. The second thing I learned was about promotion, and particularly relationships matter. Now, let me say that what I did not expect was that the moment my project was launched on June 10th, I had a deluge of offers and pitches from what I would call Kickstarter consultants. There was a myriad of them, a variety of them, and I actually chose one. I chose the first one that came in because I didn't know how this was going to go. And they said that for, I think it was $180 or something, they would get me up to 11,000 ads in social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and 350 press releases, and they would have a writer work with me. And I thought, well, I guess so. That sounds good to me. So I went for it. And they also offered to give me a $50 pledge as a backer. So it came out to about $130. Well, I went for it. I was impressed with their dashboard, and they kept me informed. And I was more or less impressed with the press release that they wrote. They gave me a counter of how the ads were mounting. But in the end, I think I only picked up at most a handful of people from that, and the monetary value was certainly much lower than what it actually cost me. So my advice to you is be circumspect. Don't be lured by their good pitches, and remember that it's relationships that matter, because in the end, most of my backers were people that I knew. Now, but that leads me on to a second part of the promotion. Is I had an immediate surge of 11 backers getting to me to 17% of my $9,000 goal within hours of launching Kickstarter on June 10th. But then by choice and by design, and it was no way around it, I had another charity project I was working on for an online event a week before Kickstarter ended, and I just decided from an integrity point of view I was going to focus on the charity, and other than a couple of updates, do no promotion for Kickstarter at all. And it went dead, as you would expect, dormant. Nothing in it all during that week's time. That was fine. I had made that choice. I thought, this is the price I'm going to have to pay. I'll think about that later. Meanwhile, we raised money in this other charity project. It wasn't Kickstarter. It was at an online auction, etc. And we raised 10,000 US for water projects in Cambodia and Ethiopia. And that was separate. That was good. But then I came back to Kickstarter and I thought, what do I do now? Well, one of the promoters or Kickstarter consultants had said, hey, for $30 we can get you lots of $1 backers. And the reason they said $1 backers are important is because some people search Kickstarter for projects to back, and Kickstarter algorithm ranks projects based on the number of backers, not on the amount of money raised. So $1 backers are important. And they could do this for $30. Well, I had two thoughts. One is, well, how do they do that? Even if they got 15 backers at $1 each, that's not that much. And they're keeping $15 profits. So I didn't quite get their business model. But I thought, well, that makes sense. If that's true, then I'll go out and get lots of $1 backers. And I was looking for a way where I could let all my friends and family know without backing them into a corner to do something that would be sacrificial for them, because I'm a believer in asking people to do things that's easy for them to do. And so I began sending out messages on Messenger first and then email, probably send out 200 or 300. And basically the message went like this: I have a wee favor to ask. It would only take a couple minutes of your time and $1, and would help me beat the Kickstarter algorithm and come up in their search engine rankings. If you're interested in helping me on this Kickstarter project, let me know and I'll send you more information. And I left it at that. And I had over 70 people respond, say, yeah, we're willing to help. And they did. And so in the last week of the Kickstarter campaign, again, I had a surge from 11 backers and 17%. I just began to rise and eventually ended on 96 backers and surpassed my goal. Okay, and finally to performance. There were a couple of surprises for me on performance. I've already mentioned that we had that relationships matter. And in fact, let me just give you these statistics here. So if you look at who, I knew 92% of them, and 8% I didn't know. And in fact, in the follow-up since, most of that 8%, their credit card payments haven't gone through. So I'm puzzled as to who they are and how they came to me, and whether it's some kind of a digital thing, a bot thing. I'm not au fait with these kind of going-ons on the internet. But 92% are people I know. Now, where they come from, this is really to do with my own network, I guess. But I live in Asia. 55% came from Asia, the bulk of that from Japan, but also Hong Kong and Singapore and other places. 25% from North America, kind of evenly split between Canada and the States. 10% from the UK, where I lived for many years, grateful for those who kicked in, and 10% from various other places. But the other thing on performance was the breakdown of tiers. Now, this is what Kickstarter told me. Kickstarter told me that place a lot of attention on the $25 tier, because that seems to be the most common gift that people give. Now, they were partly right, but not completely right. Because matched with the $25 tier in my Kickstarter campaign was a $100 backer. I had 21 $25 and I had 21 $100. And if I counted the various amounts of people between 1 and 200, I'd be up to about 26 in the $100 plus up until $200. So there's the breakdown. You can see. $100 21, 25 at 21. The $5 was the third most popular, 11. $10 I had 8 backers. $50 I had 6. $500 I had 5 backers. Now, 2 of those were family members, so I am grateful to them. I had 5 at $4. I had 4. I had 4 at $5. I had 2 at $40. 3 at $200. I had 2 $1,000 gifts. One of them was from a friend who I've known for a number of years here in Japan and been in their place in North America. A great couple. And the other person I've known since I was a child, but I haven't seen him since I was a teenager, basically. And he stepped in and gave $1,000. And then also 3 $200 as well. So that's the breakdown. Those are the lessons I learned. Read the guidelines carefully for the proposal. In promotion, relationship matters. And in performance, don't be totally convinced that the $25 will be the most popular. Make sure you put emphasis on other categories that your network can buy into. So good luck on your Kickstarter campaign. And if you were one of the 96, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can now buy the equipment and pay for the equipment to help me sail solo and film solo for Pacific Solo Season 2. Take care, everybody.